evening, welcome. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. I'm back on your screens. Very excited. Not an exciting weekend if you're a Chelsea fan. They were lost in the forest in London. Man United gunned down as well in London. Seemed like there was a lot of action on that side of England. Manchester City laying down the marker, reminding everybody who the real citizens of England are. But elsewhere, Kylian Mbappe, he is back like he never left. 5 goals now in his opening 4 games since being reinstated in the Paris Saint-Germain team. He absolutely ruined Enes Nyama's debut for Olympique Lyonnais. We'll get into that as well. Plus, why is this Englishman so high-flying in Madrid? Jude Bellingham just doesn't know how to stop scoring. He popped up yet again, this time with a 95th minute winner to give Real Madrid the victory and maintain their 100% record start to the season. All of that is to come here on the show. Chelsea struggles, Man United struggles. What is going on there? Plus, the Black Stars are in town. They open camp today with 12 players. We show you visuals from the training camp today and look at what the squad looks like in that must-win game against the Central African Republic. Technically, the Black Stars only need to draw the match to qualify for next year's Africa Cup of Nations in Cote d'Ivoire. Do we have the men to do it? In the absence of Thomas Partey, Majid Ashimeru, and all the other injuries, do we really have enough time to do it? We'll get into that. Plus, all the controversy at Man United, the fight between Jadon Sancho and his manager, Erik ten Hag. My, oh my, that is exciting. Remember, this show is on from now till 10 p.m. brought to you by Pride Bet. Also, Hunters, as well as Syntex Tank. We'll take a very short break here. When we come back, I will introduce my guest, and then we can start showing you some highlights. My name is Fento, Tahir Fento. Welcome to the show. Welcome back. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. I am Fento, Tahir Fento. Of course, this show is live from now till 10 p.m. As I indicated, show proudly brought to you by Pride Bet and Jatano Alande. And all of us have landed. Lande. That's right. Also, of course, Syntex Tank. I'll tell you about them shortly. And also Hunters as well. This evening, I'm joined on the show by, well, my 2 regular guests somehow have both taken ill. Daniel Cranton is a bit under the weather after Man United were humbled by Arsenal Football Club. Sichofe Philip Achim has some very important matters to take care of. So I've brought 2 of my favorite friends to replace them. One is Togbe. You're very familiar with him. You're on the show. How are you? You're right. I like your smoke.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what occasion this calls for, but it's nice.
My sister chose and insisted that I wear it.
Your sister chose it?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right. And Sheikh is also here. Mubarak Haruna.
Yeah.
I like to call him Sheikh. How are you? This is your first time on the show.
Yeah. Any day above the ground is a blessing, so yeah, I'm good.
I know where you got that saying from.
You can't argue that.
Yeah, I know where you got that saying from. But it's true, yeah. Every day above ground is a great day. We have a great show for you guys tonight. Your messages are welcome on 0551 575757, 0551 575757, and also on Twitter. The hashtag is Sports Zone, and we've got a lot to talk about, a lot to show you. Breaking news just coming in. Anthony of Manchester United has been removed from the Brazil squad for the upcoming international window because of sexual abuse allegations he's facing back in his hometown in Brazil. His girlfriend, or now ex-girlfriend, is dragging him to court over both sexual and physical abuse. She's claiming that he's been beating her up. And that matter has been dragging on for a bit in the summer. But today, a fresh statement came from the police from down in Brazil. And that has forced the Brazilian national team to remove him from the squad because they don't want any such noise. So Man United what is happening off the pitch regarding their players is far worse than what is actually happening on the pitch. It's crazy stuff going on there at Manchester United. We'll put some perspective on it, even regarding the disagreement between Sancho and his manager after the defeat against Arsenal. But let me tell you a bit more about Hunters. They've introduced the real apple cider now. The red apple cider is crisp and refreshing beverage that's perfect for any occasion, made from hand-picked apples. So whatever your refreshment needs are, make sure it is Hunters. And if you are feeling a bit more adventurous, try the new flavor, the red apple cider. The Hunters apple cider. It has real apples, and that's another quality product from Casapreco Company Limited. If you want bulk purchase, you can call them on 0262 351251. 0262 351 251. Also, the show proudly sponsored, of course, by PrideBet, the newest inclusion to our list of sponsors. Thank you guys for coming on board. And they're saying that Jatano Lande, Yalande Ankasa. The new season is here, and the place for you to play and win is pridebet.com.gh. PrideBet, the best online betting platform, offering you a variety of games ranging from sports, virtuals, and even casino games. Bet your own pilot and win big with your favorite aviator game. Enjoy quick cash outs, instant payouts, and weekly boosted odds. Simply visit pridebet.com.gh. Pride, and bet with pride. To make your first deposit and get 100% bonus of up to 500 Ghana cedis welcome offer. So basically, if you sign up today on PrideBet, they give you 100% bonus. So if you sign up for 2 cedis, you get 4 cedis, and you can use that to place as many bets as you want. Bratne Niagro, or PrideBet. PrideBet, together we play, and it's of course regulated by the Gaming Commission. My good friends at Syntex Tank, also proud sponsors of this program. Whatever your preferred color of tank is, Syntex Tank has it. They guarantee you whatever guarantee you need, what kind of inner layer you want, they have it for you. Whether it's double, triple, just name it, and they will get it for you. So remember, no matter what your water needs are, Syntex Tank has it. Syntex Tank is strong. Tough. You want a Syntex Tank for your water needs, water storage, what have you, just call them. They have over 300 agents nationwide. To order, you just call them at 0244335168. Mention my name for a discount. There's a Femto discount at Syntex Tank, and that's what I absolutely love about them. 0244335168. That's the number. Or you can visit them on social media, Syntex Tank Ghana. Just send them a DM and they will respond. Syntex Tank, you're strong. Yeah, tough. All right, guys, let's get straight into it. We'll talk about the highlights a bit, but the Black Stars open camp today with 12 players at the Accra Sports Stadium. This is the squad Chris Heating is going with. 25 players. Most notable in that squad is the absence of Thomas Partey, Majida Shemeru, Joseph Wallacott. They've explained that they all are suffering from injuries. In fact, Mikel Arteta addressed a press conference and said that his team, that Partey had a bit of an injury and he's not sure when he will be back. What he's sure of is that he will be out for a few weeks. Notable inclusion, of course, is the captain Andre Ayew, who, by the way, is without a club, has not had a preseason, and but now according to the coach, it's not. He doesn't just call players based on their footballing abilities alone, but based on a whole lot of other factors. Still, decent squad actually. They started training today. You spoke to Chris Hughton. You had the privilege of interviewing him, and I'm sure he gave you a lot of answers to a lot of the questions that we all had that you asked on our behalf. Yeah. What stood out for you? Was
the thinking behind every call-up and why he sets the team up to play the way they do. If you, as most of us often do, expect the Black Stars to be a bit more expressive and perhaps play with a bit more authority, today I got a sense into why that may not exactly be his preoccupation, but he is fixated with the results. And he made a point of explaining that, look, when the players report for international football, they have 2 training sessions, 1 recovery session One, the day after they arrive, the next one, and then the game day.
Yeah.
Which is too short a period for coaches anywhere in the world to attempt to teach automatisms or to build any sort of choreographed pattern of football, be it defensive, be it high octane, whatever it is that you want to think of. So there is that challenge. But the assurance that he gave is that with every call-up, you're going to find a team of players who, when the referee's whistle go, will perform in a manner that is consistent with the ethos of the team, in a manner that is consistent with the expectations of the fans, and more importantly, will reflect a desire to deliver absolutely nothing but the results that everyone seeks to get. The other takeaway for me was on the question of Andre Ayew, and I'm sure a lot of people have seen that video out already. It was about, so I asked him why Andre is in the team, and I asked him if he thought it is about time that we manage Andre's involvement in the Black Stars. And he said that as far as he is concerned, Andre keeps performing creditably when he's in the national team. But even beyond the performance, there are other factors involved. His personality and what he offers in terms of fostering the culture that he wants to see in the national team. And off the camera, he also spoke about, and I'm able to share this because it is not any of those things that you cannot, but he also spoke about the need for everyone in the team to give the old guard the sense that they are leaving them in good hands, right? And I feel that if we ask ourselves, have the options that successive coaches had in terms of the areas that Andre competes for, his slot in the team, have those players performed in a manner that makes it completely untenable to drop Andre? So that is one issue to look at. And that is where my disappointment comes from.
Yeah.
In that, while all of us collectively agree and accept that, look, after 16 years, we've got to start preparing for the future. I mean, whether Andre was performing or not, you know that it is no longer sustainable because of his age and his longevity. So it is important that we start looking towards a succession plan. But if you look at the Black Stars setup now, who are the consistent performers in the forward areas that Andre plays in? Kudus, not exactly consistent, can give you goals, but over the stretch of 90 minutes, he performs in spurts. Kamaldeen Sulemana, likewise, and all of these players. The closest you would come to is perhaps Osman Bukhari, and Bukhari has done this over, 3 or 4 games that we've seen him. Joseph Painter has shown promise. So I would say beyond what the coach's opinion of these boys is, you get to a point where nobody can challenge the reality before us. And I don't get the impression that the players who are supposed to compete with Andre are in the position or have left us in a situation where it is obvious that, look, you have got to drop him. However, what I'm going to say is that at a certain point, the manager has got to make that decision and say, irrespective of whether or not the team is getting the sort of results that is desirable, sometimes sacrifices have to be made to be able to achieve the end goal. And so at some point, he has to make that call because some characters by their nature are difficult to deal with in situations like that.
Let's move it on. I think Chris Hughton has been under lots of pressure as well. Has he not, Mubarak? The latest to add his voice to it is Mercado, the GFA vice president, who says that he's got to be getting more out of this team. People will say he's only played 3 games. He's got 1 win. But I think perhaps the only justification I have to any concern whatsoever has been the style of football itself. So the results aren't necessarily great, neither is the style of football. But you still can't rule out the fact that it's only 3 games. You think that the pressure that he's getting now is necessary, or you think it's maybe a bit too premature and that we should give him a bit more time?
Look, one of the reasons why Chris Hughton was appointed is because of his knowledge about the current squad.
Yeah.
Okay, having been the head of the technical role at the World Cup. So we have some expectations that he knows these boys very well, and then he should be able to get the best out of them. Under Otuado, we saw glimpses of what they can do we haven't really seen anything better than that under Chris Hughton. And I understand the criticism that is coming from Ghanaians, from even members of the Football Association. And I think I agree with them to some extent. Even though you can talk about the number of matches he's played, just 3 games, not too many training sessions that would allow him to inculcate the kind of style of play he wants to get into his boys. But this is the national team, and that is why he's given the job. And that is why they didn't get any manager
anybody from anywhere else.
Exactly, but they chose Chris Hughton because he was part of the team at the World Cup. So he has knowledge about
some
the team.
Continuity.
Exactly, there should be some steady improvement. But as I sit here now, I can't really say that we have really improved, yes, to be very honest with you.
Interesting. We play against a Central African Republic on Thursday. The matches are 4 p.m. At the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. After that, we have a friendly game against Liberia on Tuesday at the Accra Sports Stadium. And in this game against the Central African Republic, we just need to avoid defeat to qualify. Of course, you have to also remember, so that was earlier today when the players were showing up and arriving in their Porsche cars at the Alisa Hotel to check in. This is always a really good visual for viewers, and that's the security guard.
That guy was very busy today.
Yes, he's always busy. That's Gideon Mensah, I believe, coming in and getting out of that Mercedes-Benz. This is a Range Rover. Let's see who's going to get out of it. That's Osman Bukhari stepping out. They're living the fast life, the good life.
Yeah, but if I may, on the subject of the consistent, if you like, public criticisms of Chris Hughton, someone has got to speak to the FA. And for me, it's shocking to see this happening because at the end of the day, some of the people engaging in this are not people who are novices in public administration or even in matters of public commentary. They know the value of some of these communications. They know the potential to be misconstrued. They know the potential to be taken out of context and the injury some of these things can cause. And the fact that in 2 months, we've had 3 executive council members now and the team manager of the Black Stars, essentially speaking.
That's, I believe, Joseph Ayew that you saw earlier there. Anyway, with the arrivals. But, you know, I wanted to introduce, I think that's also Nicolas Opoku. And Baba Ijusu, you see him in the what's the color of his shirt? He and Joseph Ayew.
Coffee.
I'm kind of colorblind a little bit, so I don't know the colors. But why have you removed it? I'm trying to figure out the color. Thank you. What is it? Yes, I'm trying to figure out the color. You people, what's the color? Is that like cream-ish kind of?
You need to see it.
You know, and
it's brown.
Of course, we're trying. Anyway, it's really good to see a lot of these players and the way they're arriving very happy. I'm especially happy for Baba Ijusu. He missed out at the World Cup. And he was very pained because he tweeted about it. Remember, he said he was only supposed to be out for like a few weeks. And the squad came out for a few weeks before and his expectation was that he would have been fit for the tournament itself, but he was dropped.
I think he's done well for himself.
He's changed clubs now.
Exactly. His transfer happened on a Thursday. On Friday,
he was in action.
With no training at all, he was in action. He played quite well under a manager. Perhaps it helped that he is working under a manager that he knows very well, and one of those Ghanaian players doing well out there.
And because we are on the subject of the Black Stars, we would bring Karim in earlier than usual, just so that we can finish on that subject and then go to Europe and show you lots of highlights. Karim, you good?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see Jordan there.
Yeah, no problem. All right, my director is telling me to take a quick break before I come back to Karim. So we'll be right back. When we come back, Karim has been doing some research about the players that Chris Hughton has called up and what their numbers look like so far in Europe this season. And based on those numbers, which players he thinks statistically should be starting in that game on Thursday. We'll be right back. It's live on Joy Prime. DSTV channel 281. We're streaming live on YouTube as well. And of course, the repeat is at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. So if you miss it and you have time, you're in the office, you can always catch a repeat of the show at 1 p.m. on Tuesdays. Also, the show is available on YouTube after this, so you can watch back, of course. Karim is back with us. The show, of course, like I said, is live and interactive. Your thoughts and messages are welcome. The hashtag is Sports Zone on Twitter. Sports Zone on Twitter. Leave me a message with that hashtag. I'll retweet them and read them so that the rest of our viewers from across the world can hear your views. Also, if you prefer WhatsApp, the number is 0551 575757. 0551 575757. I'll read some messages after Karim. Now, Karim, what have you been doing? Jadon Ayew, I know, is Player of the Month at Crystal Palace. He got that award. I think we have a picture, Benai, I believe. But apart from him, what have all the other Ghanaian players been doing up until this international break?
Well, I'm just pretending to be Chris Hughton, but what he said, he told us that what we say. I
think we have Chris Hughton, you can be Chris Newton.
He told us what we say doesn't really matter to him much, but per the performances throughout the season over the past 3, 4, 5 weeks, per the calculations and computations I've done, this is the starting 11 or the best players I think are available to him in each position from the players he has selected.
Let me rephrase it for you. So these are the best performing players in each position from the start of the season till now.
Yes.
Best performing at their clubs.
From the players he selected,
yes.
Not outside.
Yes, from the players he selected in his squad.
Yes.
These 11 are the best performing in each position.
Yes.
Why is that? Let's go.
So, we have Lawrence Atizigi in goal. So far, he has played 6 games. There is no Ghanaian goalkeeper that has played more. So, the other person that would have been competing with him for a place is Manaf Nuruddin. But he has played only 2 games. In those 2 games, he's kept 1 clean sheet.
I have a question.
Yes.
The other goalkeeper, Richard Ofori, has been named. Has he played any football?
He's played 90 minutes once in the CAF Champions League for Orlando Paris.
Just 90 minutes?
Yes.
At the start of this whole season? Okay, that's fair enough. Let's go on.
So we have Lawrence Atizigi in goal. He's played 6 games for St. Gallen in the Swiss Super League. In those 6 games, he's conceded 6 goals and made 9 saves. So he's still struggling for a clean sheet up to this point in the season. So then we have Ali Duseidu at right back. His performance over the weekend has
phenomenal.
L'Equipe, or is it L'Equipe, to name him in their team of the week. His performance against Toulouse was really fantastic. So if you're looking at his performances overall in the French League, in terms of tackles made per game, he's made 4 tackles per 90 minutes in the 4 games he has played. And that is ranking 4th in the whole French League 1. Then we come to Nicolas.
In terms of tackles?
Yes. Then we come to Nicolas Opoku's side, Amiens. He's been doing really well for them from the start up to this point, playing 4 games. In those 4 games, he's made 4.8 interceptions per game. And that is ranking 4th in the French League 2 up to this point. Then we have Alex Djikou, since his debut for Fenerbahce in the Turkish Super League. They've conceded only 1 goal in 3 games he has played. Since then, like, the performances in Europe has also been good. Then Baba Rahman. He's one of the players that has played the most games up to this point, because his side, PAOK, they have been playing in Europe in the Conference League qualifications. He's played 7 games. He's averaging, the 2 league games he has played, he's averaging 1.5 tackles per game.
How does he compare to Gideon Mensah this season?
Gideon Mensah has played 3 league games. So it's like the number of games Baba has played and the number of games Gideon has played is way beyond.
So Baba has played more than double.
Baba has played 7. And
more than double the number of games Gideon has played.
Because of the injury Gideon had at the start of the campaign. Then Elisha Owusu, when he signed for AJ Auxerre, he wasn't available and his side got relegated to the French League 2. At the start of the season, he's got the opportunity to captain the side and has been one of the second best midfielder Ghana has got up to this point. We don't count Partey as a midfielder again because he's now a right back.
Also, he's injured and not available.
So, in the squad, the best midfielder in the squad is Idris Baba. for the past 2 weeks, he has made the sports zone Ghanaian players abroad all that time because of his performances against Real Madrid and the previous game last weekend. Then we come to Ernest Nuama. He's also played 7 games up to this point. He scored 5 goals in those 7 games and made his debut for Olympique Lyonnais against Paris Saint-Germain yesterday. Then we have Mohamed Kudus, his performance for Ajax, and then making his debut over the weekend for West Ham United. In 5 games, he scored 4 goals.
For Ajax?
Yes. He scored 4 goals in 4 games for Ajax, but has made his debut for West Ham.
I mean, he came on after the 90th minute anyway.
About a minute or so then.
Yeah.
Then we come to Iñaki Williams. In the season, he's played 4 games for Athletic Club and has scored a goal and provided an assist. Then we come to Jadon Ayew. He will be playing a 2-man attack with Iñaki Williams. Then in 5 games this season, he's provided 3 assists and was just named today the Crystal Palace Player of the Month. In the whole of the Premier League this season, he's the most fouled player, averaging 3.8 fouls per game in the Premier League.
That's amazing. Here's my question, though. The most intriguing, what's happening to the form of Osman Bukari and Joseph Pace?
So, quite a difficult decision to make, putting Ernest Nuama here ahead of Osman Bukari. Osman Bukari, I think he has scored 3 goals this season and provided 2 assists, but Ernest Nuama has scored 5 in 7. So this is the position he would have been competing for, but Ernest Nuama has done better there.
What about Pencil?
Pencil hasn't really had the best of starts to the season. He hasn't, per the research I've made, I'm not so sure, but he hasn't scored this season yet.
Okay, interesting. Karim, that's an exciting one. So Karim is not saying Chris Hitchens should start these people, these players. He's saying that based on numbers, their performances so far, purely based on performances, these are the best performing 11 players from the team that Chris Hitchens has named. On the balance of things, actually, would you go for such a team?
Absolutely not. You have 2 training sessions. You know, this sort of suggests that you can easily achieve automatisms and team chemistry in those 2 training sessions. Because how often has Nuama played with Baba Rahman? What sort of chemistry do they have? What sort of chemistry does Kudus have with Elisha Owusu? Baba Idrisu hasn't played for the team in nearly a year.
To be fair, I don't see anything wrong with the back four, for example. It just picks itself out, including the goalkeeper.
I've taken...
Because I've kept Opoku played the last game.
Yes, but the thing is that the most likely 11 centre-back pair we are going to see in that game is going to be Jiku and Joseph Ayew because of the understanding and they would have had. But Opoku, in terms of form, Nicholas Opoku has done better than Joseph Ayew.
So back to, and again, to quote what Chris said, does he at every turn try to abandon the chemistry that he's trying to build over time and pick players who are on form to start matches with the assumption that they will be able to translate that form and recreate the tactical context within which they thrive?
It's an interesting conundrum.
With the chemistry, we haven't really seen it.
Right. So I'm saying that...
No matter what he's done, we haven't seen the chemistry.
Seen anything, so I don't know anyway. You can.
And I think that...
So abandon the chemistry and
but I think
inform players.
that is one area where he needs to put in a bit of work because what we have seen is not good enough.
Okay, we need to move on. We need to move on from the Black Stars conversation, but it's very interesting. I don't know about you. Your thoughts are welcome. 0551 575757. Jadon Ayew, of course, named Player of the Month for August, Crystal Palace. I think we showed you a picture earlier there. So he's had a really good start to the season. Congratulations to him, Jadon Ayew, fighting really hard to maintain his team at Crystal Palace, maintain his position at Crystal Palace, and also maintain his hairline. But I'm also working. So the day he'll give up on his hairline, that's the day I give up on mine.
Did you just do that?
Huh?
You of all people.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said the day he gives up on his, that's the day I give up on mine. But I absolutely love Jadon Ayew. So congratulations to him. But let's move it on and talk this match at the London Stadium. Okay, not the London Stadium, really. The Emirates Stadium in London. It was Manchester United in town against...
Chelsea have lost, so he just
relax, can't really... Against Arsenal Football Club, okay? The game seemed like it was heading for a draw. Then, of course, Arsenal popped up with 2 very late goals. That was the first goal. A fantastic finish from, of course, Marcus Rashford. At this point, actually, United definitely looked like they scored against the run of play. It was a quick counter-attack. What was going through your mind at this point that you thought, okay, you know what, I think they've got this?
Not necessarily. I was hoping they could build on this because until that point, United had not looked too inspiring. But the curious thing about that Man United performance was, as unimpressive as they also looked very comfortable because I can't remember Arsenal forcing them into any last-ditch tackles or forcing any saves from, Andre Onana. Yes, they had a lot of possession, got the ball into very good areas, but could not really create too many openings until that point.
The response was quick.
Yes, and this is the first time that Man United defense cracked. And the seamlessness with which Arsenal found space from the half space out wide, central, and into the penalty area was completely unpardonable. And I mean, if you do this against any half decent team, that's the outcome you're going to get. And probably the first time the goalkeeper was called into action, and they scored.
And then United had a few chances of their own. That was one of them, Mubarak. They brought in Højlund. He had decent runs here and there. But in the end, United just kind of, I don't know, maybe just kind of folded.
Yeah, generally, I am not impressed with the showing against Arsenal. I expected United to have played with much more purpose. They should have been much more inventive, okay? They should have played on the front foot. But they kind of sat back and then invited Arsenal on them. And when you are playing a team like, if you're playing against a team like Arsenal, a team that dominates possession, Arsenal, City, they're always going to create the chances. Look at the way they were opening up United. The first they equalized, it was so simple. So simple. So I wasn't happy with the way United played, but you could understand the tactics of Erik ten Hag because he's playing against a very good opponent. Arsenal have got the chemistry. They have virtually the team that they played last season. Okay, you can talk about the inclusion of Declan Rice and then Kai Havertz. But
you mentioned Rice. He scored here. What was wrong with the defending on this corner? Because, I mean, I'm
look
looking
at him at the back post. He was free, unmarked. He had the time to chase the ball and then to strike the ball into the back of the net. It was just...
And this is one of my favorite moments in the game. Fabio Vieira, seeing that one-time pass onto the path of Gabriel Jesus, sends Dalot back to Portugal.
This is something about United.
All of this happens because of that offside moment. It took far more from United than people would like to admit. It completely took away the energy and the competitive edge United had.
You mean the disallowed goal?
The disallowed goal.
You're saying it wasn't offside?
It changed everything.
No, they are footballers.
It was offside. VAR said it was offside.
So here's the thing for me. And I think that on hindsight, I'll be happy to credit Gabriel, the intelligence in spotting the run of Garnacho and making, because the whole conversation of the offside is because of that split-second body adjustments that Gabriel made. And maybe if the replay shows us, you can see him just before Garnacho takes off, adjusting his body to stand in a manner that essentially, as a referee interpreted, makes Garnacho offside. But I'm saying that as far as United were concerned, they believed they had been handed a raw deal. And when players think that, when players collectively believe that, the focus shifts from actually playing with their heads, playing with their minds, and trying to stay in consonance with what the manager expects of them, to actually playing on the edge, playing with their hearts and losing their minds. And that's exactly what happened to Man United. And you could make a case for the Højlund incident, which was stonewall penalty, but the referee ignored that one as well. At the end of the day, United got punished because they were sluggish in the end. I mean, the incident where the Declan Rice goal that he scored, it was schoolboy defending. Johnny Evans chose to wrestle with Gabriel Magalhaes when there was the ball to contest for. What that meant was that the Arsenal midfielder in Declan Rice had no one to contest him for the ball inside the 6-yard box. And that was unpardonable. Perhaps that's something that, beyond the chaos of the officiating, that the manager himself and the team have got to look at, because these decisions aren't always going to go your way. Maybe if you adjust this and you look at... So there you see the body adjustment of Gabriel Magalhaes. And for me, it is... Look, it was perhaps the move of the game, because if United scores this goal, it's game over.
It damaged something. But quite frankly, Mubarak, United are struggling. Why are they struggling?
you see, it's a multifaceted problem. But clearly, from the ownership to the kind of players the team has at the moment. But I
haven't mentioned the coach.
Well, the coach, you see, there are some mitigating factors. You can't really blame Erik ten Hag for what's happening at the moment. I think he's trying his best, to be very honest with you, because you look at the team. Let me just focus on this particular match. People are talking about why is Anthony Martial starting. Okay, he has no option. Who is supposed to start or who is there to start? Højlund hasn't played any minutes for Manchester United. Okay, he can't just start him against Arsenal like that. He came in and he's been very impactful. So you expect that the next game against Brighton he's going to start. But what about the other positions? Rashford, he's sometimes erratic. Who is his competitor in the team? Anthony, the same. So clearly there are so many issues in that United team. You go to Arsenal, you go to City. Albeit Arsenal's bench is not so strong, but they've got some players that are competing. So, okay, if Saka is not performing or Martinelli is not performing, you have someone like Trossard who is on the bench who can give them a run for their money.
At United,
exactly. At United, who can you call? Rashford is out, Garnacho is in. Anthony is out, who is there? Sancho is not even there. Even at training, it's not even impressive. So there are so many issues at Manchester United at the moment.
That's interesting. Yeah. Arsenal have their own issues. One of them, of course, is Kai Havertz. His performance, yet again, not impressive. After the match, in fact, the manager, Mikel Arteta, was forced to compare Kai Havertz's situation to when he was chasing his wife. He says when he was chasing his wife, she said, she didn't agree initially. And then he kept pestering and he kept going back and kept going back. And eventually, voila, she says, okay, now we can go out. He says, if she had just said yes at the very beginning, it wouldn't have been nice. He wouldn't have enjoyed the relationship.
Makes no sense.
So he says, Havertz, the struggle is important, but he should keep at it. When it eventually clicks and everything falls in place, he would enjoy it more than if he has hit the ground running from the beginning. It's an interesting analogy.
You should continue with the experimentation.
Clearly, once Partey is fit,
I want to see more of it.
I don't even know how he's going to organize the team. How Arsenal line up if Partey is fit.
Right back. You've seen it many times.
Okay. Yeah, but Ben White is there. Ben White plays at right back.
Forget Ben White. He's been playing Partey there. You've not been seeing. You've not been watching.
Quite surprising.
Well, it's not really a right back. He plays him there, but he plays more central, drifting infield.
It is anything but Partey's best position.
Exactly. Well, there's that. What about Sancho? So after the game, United's problems went beyond the pitch. Erik ten Hag went to the press conference. He was asked why Sancho wasn't in the team. He said Sancho hadn't been impressive in training. He said at United, you need to always reach a certain level in training to be considered for selection. Sancho didn't take lightly to that statement. Came on Twitter just moments after that, released this statement where he practically just called Erik ten Hag a liar. And he says that he's been doing his absolute best in training. This is a volatile situation.
No, Sancho's been silly. It's not volatile.
This was unnecessary?
It was unnecessary from Sancho. The manager was asked a question in a press conference and he answered. He was asked why Sancho was not in the team and he says the player did not train well. And I don't understand the circus or the reactions to Erik ten Hag's comments. Look, the coach says he was not impressed.
People said he's thrown the player under the bus.
No, he's not. Was Pep throwing, Calvin Phillips under the bus when he said he came from preseason overweight? He wasn't. Look, sometimes you've got to understand and respect a manager because there are certain things that are not up for a debate. When a manager says, I'm not impressed with the way a player trains, what the player ought to do, go to him and ask for specifics in terms of what he expects from you. Because ultimately, only the coach knows the metrics with which he rates you. And it is also wrong to assume that the metrics that he uses in rating other players in similar positions should be the same for you. It is not. So when the manager says he's not impressed with... Look,
what should happen here
is that Sancho needs to go and knock on ten Hag's door.
And apologize.
And release a statement again.
Not a statement. Look, fighting battles...
beg for forgiveness.
Fighting battles in the court of public opinion serves no one's interest because Sancho has done this before. In 2019, at Dortmund, he returned from international break late. Lucien Favre and Michael Zorc both released statements. In fact, Favre was in the post-match interview, and they criticized him for his behavior. What did Sancho do? He gave information to the Athletic website, which they published, and he used the same words. He says he had felt scapegoated. It's time he assumes responsibility and realizes that, look, it will
Not
serve
everybody's
his
out to
interest.
get him.
Not just that. He should do his talking on the football pitch and not in the court of public opinion.
All right, cool. So, but there are those that are refusing to ignore the fact that Eric Ten Hag has had some personal issues with some players in the past. Ronaldo, he practically hounded him out of the club. Maguire stripped him out of the captaincy, embarrassed him.
Is there a coach in the world who hasn't had issues with players?
Hold
on.
adjectives
David
to-
De Gea.
okay.
He was said to be the manager who prevented United from signing their part of the contract, which David De Gea agreed. Eventually, he was hounded out of the club, and now he's hounding Sancho out of the club. And in all of those occasions, it's always the club's highest earner. So this, for some people, is another plan that is being orchestrated to chase another high earner out of the club. I don't know. They're all just allegations, but we'll move it on. Chelsea have struggles of their own. They fell to Nottingham Forest, 1-0. Mubarak, I'm going to give this to you. 200 million pound midfield. They made a mistake directly leading to goal. It's just the Kanzo midfield.
205 million worth of Kanzo.
It's not working. Pochettino says they should be patient with the club, with the players. How much patience can Chelsea fans take here?
But you see, I don't understand some supporters. Nobody should expect Chelsea to just start the season up and running. I mean, the wholesome changes, you can't expect a quick firepower from Chelsea at the moment. They are going to struggle. They are going to take time. They have a new manager, so many new players. And most of the players, I mean, those who will be integral in that particular team, they arrive late. You understand? Palmer is there, Caicedo, these players arrive late. And they are expected to send Chelsea to the next level. So I think patience is highly required at the moment. But of course, this is Chelsea. There is nothing like patience. You have to deliver. And I know Poch is really aware of that.
All right, Nicolas Jackson not taking for him at the moment. Man City have no such problems. They have 4 wins out of 4, 12 points. They've scored 11 goals in 4 games. Hat-trick for Erling Haaland. Just basically, like he never left, picking up from where he left off last season.
UEFA Player of the Year for a reason. Look, this guy's mentality is on steroids. To keep demanding more from himself and actually performing and outperforming himself. After that, 53 and 52 last season, I thought it would take him a while because last season was energy sapping. League Cup, Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, and at national team, but not much has changed. I thought maybe the introduction of Julian Alvarez was going to sort of slow him down a bit and perhaps get the Argentine striker a bit more involved, but even that has not changed his game. I mean, the only constant to City is that Erling Haaland is going to score.
Wasn't this an offside? This was very controversial.
It was offside. It was offside. And it's one of the reasons why I'm not always quick to say that because the VAR chose to flag it or decided that it was offside, it was the right call. They can get it wrong. Because even when the technology shows you the footage, it's up to a human being to interpret what that footage means. And in this case, they got it wrong.
Cool. Liverpool also won very comfortably, of course, against Aston Villa by 3-0. And I just wanted to show you the Szoboszlai scored his first goal for Liverpool. This is good for new signings. When you get off the mark really quickly like that, it's very good. Salah got the other goal. But very pleased with him, Mubarak, no?
Yes, and generally the entire team, okay, this is a team that really struggled last season. And in the past 5 seasons, if you are looking for a team that gave City a run for their money in the English Premier League, I think it's Liverpool. I am not saying they are favourites for a title, but of course, they are in and around there. Better than United, better than
Let me show you the
Chelsea.
4 results from the Premier League this weekend then. Interesting results all around. So there you go. West Brom shocked Luton. Luton struggling so far since coming up. Sheffield, Everton 2-0. Brentford, Bournemouth, same scoreline. Tottenham Hotspur, not a lot of people are giving them credit, but they are high flying at the moment. They beat Burnley by 5-2. So Burnley, also coached by Vincent Kompany, is not working for them. Newcastle is another team struggling after their impressive run last season. Brighton humbled them by 3-1 in that result. And you see the others there, as we showed you. Crystal Palace beating Wolves by 3-2. Jadon Ayew was critical in that game. Let me take you to Spain. Jude Bellingham just cannot stop scoring. That's the table, by the way. So Man City, top of the table, 100% record, 4 wins out of 4, 12 points overall. Spurs, Liverpool, West Ham, and Arsenal, all of them have only dropped 2 points each. At the bottom half, Chelsea, very familiar with the top position, aren't they?
Second nature to them these days.
They're starting where they left off last season in top position. And Koye, but look at Everton, Burnley, and Luton. Burnley, Luton, only coming up this season and not having the best of starts. It's not going according to plan at all. This is the La Liga that we're talking about. So this is Real Madrid. They conceded first, and it looked like it was going to be a tough afternoon because Madrid haven't been playing well. Then they got the equalizer. Penalty should have been given. Now, you see, it's very interesting, isn't it? Because after they scored, now they...
They
no longer wanted the penalty.
Exactly, I wanted the penalty. And now, so 1-1, but Jude Bellingham, my word, my goodness. 4 goals in all 4 games. Real Madrid have 4 wins. He's got 4 goals in all 4 matches. He scored in every single one of them. They have 12 points. Barcelona, that's their game. They also conceded first, came from behind. Sorry, this is still the Real Madrid match.
Okay.
Yeah, against Getafe. Let's go to the Barcelona game, though, because there, Jules Koundé put them ahead.
The man Chelsea hates.
Yeah, and then Osasuna equalized, then late penalty from Robert Lewandowski, giving them the victory. And Barca, of course, not having the best of starts to the season, but it's good to see them grinding out results. The penalty came in the 85th minute, and to be fair, it was as clear as day. That's it from Robert Lewandowski. Boom, 2-1 victory for them. All right, let me read some messages before we wrap it up here on the show. Otherwise, I would not be fair to you guys. Hi, good evening, friend. I blame the coach for our defeat against Forest. Why is he so bent on playing the 3-back system? Meanwhile, you didn't play that system in pre-season. That's a message from Tajuddin in Sawaba, Tamale. He sent in that message. Clearly a Chelsea fan. Somebody says, what time do you normally start the program? 9 to 10 p.m. This message says the Ghanaian players who play peripheral roles in their respective clubs should exercise patience. For them, the hype is just too much. They are not yet there as we want it to look like. That's Miles Fosu Kwesi. He sent in that message. This one says, welcome from your Budapest. I like the intro. The Blues lost in the Forest while the rest were gunned down by Gunners. Please, is Danike calm? That's from Mutala. Yes, Danike is calm. He's a bit under the weather. Joe Shama says, Chris Hughton has disappointed me absolutely. How could you tell me that you can't beat Sierra without clubless Andre Ayew? Let's be honest. What kind of experience does he even bring to with the exception of clapping of hands for crying out loud? Anyways, United will unexpectedly win the league eventually. Joe, he sent that message from Takradi. Hi, FCF. I'm Ike, the Chancellor from Kumasi. I think it's too early to mount pressure on Eric Ten Hag. It needs time to make things happen. Man United will give Man City a good run for the EPL this season. One more message. Good evening. I'm Kofi Dicey, texting from Tema Newtown. Please, what's the real problems of Man United? Is it the coach, the playing body, the board, or the owners? Mubarak said it's multifaceted.
Yeah.
And he went on to talk about some of them. But thank you all for your messages. As usual, it's been an absolute pleasure coming your way. We always wish I had more time. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. This has been another episode of Sports Zone on Joy Prime, brought to you by Pride Bet, Hunters, and of course, Syntex Tank. I was joined tonight by Achu Tamaklo and Mubarak Haruna. Until next time, thanks for watching.